If you ever talk to anyone from Michigan and ask them where they live, it's likely they'll show you the palm of their right hand and point to the relative position where they live in this mitten-shaped state. In this video, we're going to Port Austin, which is located at the tip of the Michigan thumb. We've lived in Michigan all our lives, but have never been to the thumb area. One of the Pure Michigan tourist ads featured a small geological formation called Turnip Rock that you can visit only from the water. So we packed up the kayak and headed to Port Austin. We camped at Lighthouse Park near Port Hope, Michigan, which is also the location of Point Aux Bark's lighthouse and life-saving station, which has aided mariners for 162 years. Point Aux Barks means Point of Little Boats, indicating the reef of the same name that lurks just beneath the water's surface, presenting a hazard to boats as they round the thumb into Saginaw Bay. This lighthouse, standing 89 feet tall, was built in 1857 and replaced the original poorly constructed lighthouse, which was built only 10 years earlier. That original lighthouse became famous for the first female lightkeeper, Catherine Shook, who took over for her husband Peter after he drowned just 2 years after the light went into service. The new lighthouse had an attached lightkeeper's home, and in 1908 a brick assistant keeper's house was built. The lighthouse was fully automated in 1934, and 5 years later the last keeper retired, decommissioning the life-saving station. We delayed getting on the water the next morning, waiting as the storm rolled through and left us with an amazing sunrise. The majority of kayakers to Turnip Rock leave from Bird Creek Park in Port Austin, but because of the high winds out of the west, we chose to put in east of Turnip Rock at Eagle Bay Kayak Launch, where the waves weren't nearly as bad. Turnip Rock is a stack located just a few yards offshore in the shallow waters of Lake Huron. Over thousands of years, Turnip Rock has been undercut by wave action, creating a broad top and a narrow base and causing it to resemble a turnip. This year, Lake Huron is 2.5 feet above its average water level and only 1 inch under its 100-year high, which means the narrowest part of the rock is currently underwater, reducing the turnip look. If you were to Google Turnip Rock, you would find older pictures when the water was lower, which not only would make it more resemble a turnip, but would also show the concrete collar that was built around the rock's base at the original waterline to stop further erosion. Another landmark in this same area is what's called Thumbnail Point, or rather the thumbnail of Michigan. Who knew our Michigan thumb had a nail? This is the extreme tip of Point Aux Barks, which in turn is the extreme tip of the Michigan thumb. Pictures will have to be taken from the water, as climbing on the cliffs or out on the thumbnail is trespassing.
Smile!
These landmarks are very popular with kayakers, and 75% of all the calls to Port Austin Chamber of Commerce are in regards to Turnip Rock. If you don't have a kayak of your own, don't worry. Port Austin Kayak will rent kayaks and paddleboards by the hour, day, or the week. I will mention that after our trip and while doing research for this video, we learned that tandem kayaks like the one we used are not allowed on the Turnip Rock Trail. We haven't found an explanation as to why, but possibly it has to do with safety since tandems ride lower in the water and have a larger opening than singles, making them a greater risk for being swamped by waves. While we couldn't get out of our kayaks, there was still much to explore while paddling along the rocky cliffs. The vegetation and flowers clinging along the top and the sides of the rocky wall were beautiful. There were also rock caves to paddle under and a rock tunnel to paddle through. When leaving from Eagle Bay, this kayaking trip can be completed in 2 to 4 hours, depending on your skill level and the time spent exploring. After your adventure, head to the 133-year-old Grindstone General Store, which features their own small batch homemade ice cream and advertises the biggest ice cream cones in the thumb, with scoops the size of softballs. If you liked the video, give us a Michigan thumb up. If you'd like to see our other adventures, please subscribe to our channel.